I am in no presentable way to be in front of the camera today, so I decided to do a bookshelf tour. That is also why you can't see me, because, you know, you wouldn't want to look at me right now. I'm not very presentable. Okay, so let's start at the very top. These are my Agatha Christie books. Haven't read any of them, you know, as usual. They are all hardcover facsimile, is that the word? Doesn't matter, of the original first edition covers. These have all been re-released recently, and they're just beautiful. I just think they're lovely. And now we move on to the real top shelf. Start at the very beginning with Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Haven't read any of them. Haven't read most of my books actually, which is quite a running trend. We have Aesop, Ariane, Pride and Prejudice, Ballards, Empire of the Sun, Elegance of the Hedgehog, which I really need to read, Blood Music, my very well read dramatic works of Samuel Beckett, which I read so much that the pages started to fall out, so I bought my own individual copy of Waiting for Godot. Behan's Borstal Boy, Boy in the Striped Pyjamas. Bought this when it first came out and it was kind of taking the world by storm. Still hate it, it's very boring, isn't it? Fahrenheit 451, Russell Brand's My Bookie Wook. Some YA, I don't have that much of it. Sarah Rees Brennan's Demon's Lexicon. Another unread classic, Jane Eyre, by Charlotte Bronte. I only read about a third of Wuthering Heights, never finished it. Yes, sadly, Dan Brown books, 39 Steps by John Buchan. Here we have Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. Mildred Pierce, No Relation, by James M. Cain. Truman Capote's Breakfast at Tiffany's, which is fantastic. Through the Looking Glass and Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Charlie Chaplin, My Autobiography. Some childhood book, what is it? Steps Up the Chimney. Roald Dahl, Charlie Chocolate Factory, Great Glass Elevator, D's for Dahl. James and John Peach. BFG, all of the horrible histories. Hiding underneath all of these books we have Daniel Clow's Ghost World. Move down another shelf, we have even more horrible histories. I loved these books when I was much younger. Robinson Crusoe, Oliver Twist, Monica Dickens, who was the granddaughter of Charles Dickens, can't remember, One Pair of Feet, Emma Donohue's Room, Roddy Doyle, Star Called Henry, Paddy Clark, and one of my favourite books ever, The Giggler Treatment. Catherine Dunn's Geek Love, which I bought because Lena recommended it, and I still haven't gotten around to reading this. Bret Easton Ellis's Less Than Zero, George Eliot's Silas Marner, Jeffrey Eugenides' The Virgin Suicides, Great Gatsby, Casino Royale, The Etymologicon, Mrs. Fry's Diary, Stephen Fry, Moab is My Washpot, The Fry Chronicles, also by Stephen Fry, The Liar is somewhere as well, Neil Gaiman, American Gods, Just My Type, a book about fonts by Simon Garfield, The Princess Bride, Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Graham, Looking for Alaska and Paper Towns by John Green. Down another shelf we have Fault in Our Stars, King Solomon's Mines by H. Rider Haggard, The Far From the Madding Crowd, Catch-22, Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea, I Am David by Anne Home, Single Man, Christopher Isherwood, Three Men on a Boat and Three Men in a Bummel by Jerome K. Jerome, Fault in Our Star, Maureen Johnson, 13 Little Blue Envelopes, also by Maureen Johnson, How Many Miles to Babylon, Joyce's Ulysses, a little biography on James Joyce, Kafka, The Metamorphosis, Sive by John B. Keane, Schindler's Ark, made into the film Schindler's List by Thomas Kennelly, Skullduggery Pleasant by Derek Landy, Skullduggery Pleasant Playing with Fire, also by Derek Landy, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy by John le Carré, To Kill a Mockingbird, All the Chronicles of Narnia, a little book about Scotland, Damn You, autocorrect! Wicked by Gregory Maguire, Game of Thrones, I Am Legend, Cormac McCarthy's No Country for Old Men and The Road, Angela's Ashes of course. Onto another shelf we have Herman Melville's Moby Dick, Twilight, New Moon, Watchmen, Warhorse, Skippy Dies, Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita, David Nichols' Started for 10, 2 Garth Nix books which I don't know why I own, 3 Dublin Plays by Sean O'Casey, we have Orwell's Animal Farm, Down and Out in London and Paris, and 1984, I Before E Except After C, which I also don't know why I own, Ricky Gervais presents The Worlds of Carol Pilkington and Happy Slapped by a Jellyfish by Carol Pilkington, Plutarch's The Age of Alexander, the first 3 Discworld novels, The Colour of Magic, The Light Fantastic and Equal Rights by Terry Pratchett. Hiding underneath these books we have Alan Moore's Batman the Killing Joke, which is actually brilliant. 127 Hours Between a Rock and a Hard Place by Aaron Ralston. Missing in Action, 50 Years for the Search of Ireland's Missing Soldier. A.R.R.R. Roberts' The Vinci Code, which is a little parody book. Gareth Roberts writing as Douglas Adams in Doctor Who, Shada, and The Men Who Stare at Ghosts by John Ronson, J.K. Rowling's Casual Vacancy, Harry Potter 1, 2, 3 and 4. Down another shelf we have Harry Potter 5, 6 and 7, Precious by Sapphire. In here, when you can't really see them, is Midsummer Night's Dream, Hamlet, Julius Caesar, Macbeth, Othello, all by Shakespeare. And then we have a little book of the Shakespeare sonnets. We have the first 5 Darren Shan novels, a biography on George Bernard Shaw, Sarah Silverman's autobiography The Bedwetter, Toast by Nigel Slater, Ali Smith's Girl Meets Boy. We have all of the series of Unfortunate Events books. We have Horseradish, also by Lemony Snicket. The Catcher in the Rye, which is just up there for some strange reason. The Grapes of Wrath by Steinbeck. Down at the very bottom shelf, which my tripod actually won't go to, we have A Life in Letters, basically every single letter John Steinbeck ever wrote to anyone. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. Catherine Stocken's The Help. Bram Stoker's Dracula, Mr. Tato, The Man Inside the Jacket, Hunter S. Thompson's Rum Diary and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Lord of the Rings, War and Peace, JFK in Ireland by Ryan Tubridy, Mark Twain, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Lifelines, which is a poetry anthology, Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle, Player Piano, Slaughterhouse-Five and The Sirens of Titan, The Troll King, which I don't remember purchasing. A biography on Oscar Wilde, Tennessee Williams' Streetcar Named Desire, Virginia Woolf's Mrs. Dalloway, a biography on W.B. Yeats, Marcus Zuzak's The Book Thief, Zombies vs. Unicorns, which is a short story anthology by lots of YA writers, All My Friends Are Dead and All My Friends Are Still Dead. We have quite a lot of the Penguin 60s editions here. Now we move on to the little tiny shelf, which is actually my overflow, because as you can see, my bookshelf was full. We started with Herman Hoch's The Dinner, which recently I saw in one of Sana's videos. Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, which is my first and only cloth-bound classic from Penguin. We have Mark Haddon's Curious Incident Dog in the Nighttime, Bill Bryson on Shakespeare. You can't have a bookshelf without a bit of Friedrich Nietzsche, Beyond Good and Evil. She by H. Rider Haggard. Study in Scarlet by Arthur Conan Doyle, which is a Sherlock Holmes novel. The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. And recently I bought Ernest Hemingway's A Movable Feast, and I believe that is every single book that I own. So yay, bookshelf tour done.